Yellowstone National Park is one of the most beautiful places in the world. It's home to geysers, hot springs, and a large variety of wildlife. But it's also home to one of the most powerful volcanoes on Earth. The Yellowstone Supervolcano has had 3 major eruptions in the past 2 million years, but fortunately for those living nearby, it hasn't erupted in more than 600,000 years. So could we see another major eruption soon? Or is the possibility that it won't erupt again for hundreds of thousands of years? The Yellowstone Supervolcano is located in the northwest corner of Wyoming. While much of it lies within Yellowstone National Park, a small portion extends into the surrounding parklands, and a very small part extends into Idaho. The volcano itself isn't just one single peak. In fact, there are 3 major volcanic calderas in the area. Each of these calderas is roughly circular and stretches about 43 by 28 miles, which is similar to the distance between Washington, D.C. and Boston. The largest of these 3 calderas is called the Magma chamber. It was formed during the first major eruption of the Yellowstone Supervolcano about 2 million years ago. The next caldera over is called the Middle Resurgent Dome. As its name suggests, it formed when magma pushed up in the middle of the previous caldera, creating a raised dome. And finally, there's the Lava Creek caldera, which was formed during the second major eruption of the Yellowstone Supervolcano about 1.3 million years ago. If all 3 of these calderas were added together, they would form a supercaldera roughly the size of Rhode Island. The Yellowstone Supervolcano is considered a mantle plume volcano. That means that magma comes from deep within the Earth's mantle, rather than from the subducting plate that's found beneath many other volcanoes. This mantle plume is believed to be the reason why the Yellowstone Supervolcano can produce so much magma. During its 3 major eruptions, it produced a total of 2,400 cubic miles of ash and pumice. That's enough material to cover the entire state of Texas with 2 feet of debris. The first eruption of the Yellowstone Supervolcano took place around 2 million years ago. At the time, North America was covered in glaciers, and the Rocky Mountains hadn't yet been formed. Magma began to well up in the Earth's crust, eventually forming a large magma chamber. Eventually, the pressure from the magma became too much for the crust to handle, and on August 19, 1985, the Earth shook as a massive explosion blew the top off. The eruption was a whopping 1,000 cubic miles of ash and pumice. It was huge. The blast was so powerful that it wiped out all life within 40 miles of the volcano. Ash fell as far away as Montana, Idaho, and Utah, and scientists believe that some of the ash made it all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. Even though the eruption happened more than 1 million years ago, it left a lasting legacy. The explosion created the Absaroka Range, including the 1,000-foot Mount Holmes, which is now the highest point in the area. The eruption also led to the formation of Yellowstone Lake, which at 700 square miles is the largest high-elevation lake in North America. For about 600,000 years, the supervolcano was quiet, but then it erupted again. The second eruption of the Yellowstone Supervolcano was even more powerful than the first. Taking place around 1.3 million years ago, the eruption was caused by the movement of magma within the Earth's crust. As the magma moved, it created a bulge in the northeastern part of the magma chamber. Eventually, the pressure from the magma caused this bulge to rupture. The explosion that followed was devastating. It ejected 2,450 cubic miles of ash and pumice into the air. That's enough material to cover all of California with 3 inches of ash. Once again, life was wiped out for miles around the volcano. And once again, ash fell hundreds of miles away. The eruption also created a new feature within the supervolcano. The old magma chamber was completely empty during the eruption, leaving behind a massive hole. Over time, this hole would become known as the Mesa Falls Caldera. After another 500,000 years, the Yellowstone Supervolcano erupted for a 3rd time. This eruption was much smaller than the first 2, but it was still pretty big. About 120,000 years ago, a magnitude 15 earthquake struck the region. It was the largest earthquake in North American history. The earthquake caused the magma chamber to collapse, leading to a massive landslide. Then a magma chamber began to fill in the resulting hole. As the magma rose, it created a new mountain. The mountain was called the Lava Creek Dome, and when the magma chamber was full, it erupted. The explosion ejected another 1,700 cubic miles of ash and pumice. While not as powerful as the first two eruptions, this was still a huge explosion. To put it into perspective, if the eruption had occurred at the same time as the September 11th attacks, every person on the planet would have been vaporized. Luckily, it didn't happen at the same time as the September 11th attacks, and so we're still here. Even though this was the last major eruption of the Yellowstone Supervolcano, it wasn't the last activity. The volcano has experienced numerous smaller eruptions since then. These eruptions have created features such as Norris Geyser Basin, Black Sand Basin, and the Grand Prismatic Spring. Yellowstone National Park sees around 4 million visitors each year. Most of them come to see the amazing wildlife or to take in the beauty of the park's geothermal features. However, a small number of them visit because they're interested in the volcano. You can take a tour of the Upper Geyser Basin, which includes stops at several of the park's most popular geysers. You can also visit the Yellowstone Volcano Observatory, which is located near the town of Mammoth Hot Springs. If the Yellowstone Supervolcano were to erupt today, it would be devastating. The blast would flatten forests, destroy homes, and send ash raining down on cities. Planes would be grounded, and people would need to wear masks while outdoors. It's hard to imagine how anyone could survive such an eruption, but it's important to remember that it hasn't erupted in 600,000 years, and experts don't think it will erupt anytime soon. There are three main reasons why scientists don't believe the Yellowstone Supervolcano will erupt soon. First, the magma chamber is currently being filled with magma. If it were to erupt today, it would be a lot smaller than the previous eruptions. Second, the US Geological Survey monitors the volcano closely. They have instruments that measure things like the rate at which the ground is swelling. If they detect any unusual activity, they'll let the public know right away. Finally, there are early warning signs that would indicate an impending eruption. Things like earthquakes, steam emissions, and ground deformation would all give people some warning that an eruption is on the way. That being said, there is always the possibility that something could go wrong. What if an earthquake caused the magma chamber to rupture? Or what if a large chunk of ice from a glacier blocked the river and caused a flood? These things are unlikely to happen, but they're not impossible. And so scientists continue to monitor the volcano closely. Yellowstone National Park is a beautiful place, but it's also a dangerous one. The Yellowstone Supervolcano is a reminder of the awesome power of nature. Hopefully, it won't erupt anytime soon. But if it does, the world will definitely feel it. Now, it's time to make your voice heard. Is the Yellowstone Supervolcano something you'd like to see for yourself? Let us know in the comments below. And before you go, be sure to get your free guide to the solar system. This is your host. Thanks for watching.